Jackson State wins another game, but it's still a lot that needs to be done down in Jackson, Mississippi for Coach Prime and the team. I'll tell you about it right after the bumper. What's good people? Jeff Lightsy Jr. here with the Black Boss channel and Victory Formation. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and the notification bell because we upload every single day. And don't forget to don't meet me there, beat me there at the All Black National Convention down in Orlando, Florida at the Omni, October 29th through November 1st. Get your tickets now at allblacknationalconvention.com. Now I'm here today to talk about the Jackson State Tigers, right? Jackson State, I've taken a couple of weeks off talking about Jackson State. That's my bad. I'm back on it because I love to talk about Jackson State, Tennessee State in particular, especially with the HBCU football landscape. So, Jackson State got a win over Delta State 24-17. They came away with the win, and they are going into a bye week. They are now, 3-1 on the season, with their only loss coming to an out-of-conference opponent in Louisiana Monroe, a game which Louisiana Monroe didn't even score a touchdown, but they had 4 field goals. That was enough to win the game 12-7 the week before. I forgot to talk about that. But see, Jackson State, the strength of their team is their defense. Their defense is nasty. Let's Houston, James Houston, Shedeur Sanders, Katron Evans. Like, these dudes are nasty. Like, these dudes are Nugget Warren. Like, those dudes get the job done on that side of the ball. The only problem that the defense is starting to have that I see is they give up a few plays late, right? A few plays at the end of the game that are costly. In Delta State, they had kind of wrapped it up, but they gave up a couple of scores at the end of the game that made that game interesting. 24-17. Now, the defense ended up coming up big and getting a big stop in the fourth quarter, but they did make it interesting and make it a lot tougher for themselves against a team they probably should have blown out, and even Deion Sanders alluded to that. They should have blown that team out. And see, here's the problem. The offense hasn't caught up. Jackson State can't run the ball. Shedeur is really good. He is amazing, actually, as a true freshman quarterback. For a true freshman quarterback that hadn't played a football game for a very long time, that hadn't played a college game ever, that enrolled early to be on his dad's team, this dude's amazing. I mean, the dude he is a baller. 25-36, 253 yards, 3 touchdowns last week, but he got hurt. He got a little nicked. They had to throw the backup in there, and the offense was gone when Shedeur left. But even before Shedeur left, Jackson State struggled scoring the ball in the second half, right? They only had 7 points in the second half in a game that only finished with them having a 7-point victory. And see, the problem is their next game, they play against Alabama A&M. Alabama A&M has the most explosive offense in the SWAC. Alabama A&M has a quarterback that I believe will play on Sundays in Aqeel Glass. Now they have a running back. Alabama A&M now has a running back. Maybe they always had him, but they have a running back that I know of now that is a beast, and that is Gary Quarles. Gary Quarles is averaging like 140 yards a game, almost 7 yards a carry over their 3-0 start to this season. Alabama and A&M, here's the scores of their games: 42, 30, and 45. This team puts up points in bunches. Talking about 400-yard games, 350-yard games, 300-yard games by Aqeel Glass in those first 3 games, and he has no plans on slowing down. That is going to be a major problem for Jackson State, especially because the strength of the team is their defense, right? But the defense has shown to bend a little bit at times. When they aren't getting those big-time sacks by James Houston and Aubrey Miller coming off the end, and Keontae Hampton and all those guys, they've shown up that they can give up some plays in the secondary. If you can't get to the quarterback, if James Houston can't make those sacks he's been making, Aqeel Glass is going to tear you up. And right now, your problem is you can't score enough points on offense. You have essentially 0 running game, and the offensive line is improved but isn't there. The offensive line is improved but isn't there. And we have seen this. Now, it's only been three weeks, but we have seen Shedeur Sanders press the issue at times when he feels like the team isn't scoring enough points, which at times they don't. They do these long droughts with no points, no success on offense, no wins or whatever on offense. He tries to do too much. He'll try to make a play on his own, whether it's hold the ball too long, whether it's trying to run and do all kinds of stuff. We've seen it. And that could be the case in 2 weeks because they're off. They have a bye week. Alabama A&M plays Grambling this week. I think they're going to light Grambling up. I'm talking about 40 plus on the board, 40 plus points this week. Akil Glass will probably throw for over 300 yards again. The Gary Quarles is running like a wild man. He'll probably go for $120, $130, and they're going to put up a lot of points against Grambling. That just is what it is. And coming off of that into that game against Jackson State's going to get a whole lot. All of what they can handle with that high-powered offense by Alabama A&M. The question is, can Jackson State, because they're going to score points. Alabama, as good as Jackson State's defense is, Alabama A&M is going to score 25 to 30 points. Mark it down. Put it down. They're going to score between 25 and 30. They're probably going to score closer between 30 and 35 points. If we're just being honest. Just if we go off their history, we go off their scores. I mean, Bethune-Cookman, which is a really good team, held them to 30 points, right? They held them to 30 points, and most of that damage was done in the first half. Alabama A&M only scored 3 points in the second half in that game. They had 27 at halftime. So Bethune-Cookman made some really good adjustments in the second half of that one, but Gary Quarles still ran for a 101. Akil Glass still threw for 2 touchdowns and 234. So that they'll probably get something similar to that. But if you do have to get into somewhat of a shootout with Alabama A&M, I believe in Shedeur as long as he's healthy. Knock on wood. And Shedeur and the weapons on the outside. Keith Corbin is coming alive. Shane Hooks is coming alive. Trevontae Rucker and Warren Newman is the X factor. All those guys are ballers out there on the outside. Can they get it done in the trenches? Can they block Alabama A&M? Can they get Pickett and Sante Marshall and these guys going running the football? That is the question. Those are the problems that Jackson State still has. They still can't block anybody that great. Their blocking still isn't there. I don't know if it's scheme. I don't know if it's talent, players just being undisciplined or what, but the pass protection is decent. The run game is non-existent. It's almost non-existent. It's almost non-existent. They're going to have to get that going because a part of the reason why they're going to have to try to get that going is because you want to keep Akil Glass on the sideline. As good as Shedeur Sanders is right now, he ain't that guy. he ain't Akil Glass right now. And those weapons over there at Alabama A&M are getting the job done. Their run blocking amazing. That's why Quarles is having such a great year. And their pass protection is great as well. So what can Jackson State do on the offensive side of the ball? I think the defense will make some plays. They'll come up with an interception. They'll get 2, 3, maybe even 4 sacks on the game. They might even get a strip, a fumble, whatever. But Alabama A&M is going to score points. Can Jackson State match fire with fire? Or can that defense actually hold Alabama A&M in a way that I don't even think they can? I guess we'll have to wait and see. Once again, I'm Jeff Lightsy Jr. with the Black Boss Channel and Victory Formation. Thank you guys for tuning in. Follow me over there on Facebook, Jeff Lightsy Sports. That's Jeff Lightsy Sports on Facebook and on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at JLightsy7. I post content on there all the time. Thank you guys for tuning in. And don't forget to meet me at the All Black National Convention. That's October 29th through November 1st down in Orlando, Florida. Don't meet me there. Beat me there. I love to meet all of you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Peace.